ways to minimize sensory dysregulation. So these are things that I do before anybody is even in my space. I always encourage bringing comfort items. Always, always, always. I know a lot of clinics say you can't bring comfort items in, and I personally disagree with that. I think that if you can bring your whatever rocket ship or train or whatever it is, squishmallow, I don't care what it is. If that makes you feel safe and secure, then you absolutely bring it, and nobody will touch that thing without your consent. So I encourage parents to let kids bring those things, because unless I try to veer away from technology for obvious reasons, but if that's what it is, then that's what it is. I want their regulation is more important to me than me having ultimate control in the situation. Be mindful of the lighting. So if you have fluorescent lights, those are like awful. So maybe you can turn them off and use lamps or something else. Be mindful of the things that don't bother you really may bother someone else. Seating options, like I talked about in my office, I like to have a variety of seating options. I also have a beanbag behind my couch, and so if they prefer to sit on the floor, I'll also bring that out if needed. Having fidgets, like I said, I have them usually just laying about where anybody can grab them, and even parents will start, fidgeting with them, and that's totally fine for me. Smells. This is something that I never really thought about, I think until grad school, because I remember in grad school, they were like, you can't wear perfumes, you can't wear any fragrances. And I always was like, well, that's stupid. Like, why does that matter? And then when I became more aware of my own sensory aversions, I realized, oh yeah, some smells are quite offensive and really put me in a terrible, terrible mood. And that's putting it lightly. Like I literally can become physically ill from certain smells. And that's true for other people. So being mindful of that and trying to just have like a neutral smell. Not wearing perfumes, not using fragrances. And I mean, those are just very small things that I know personally, like maybe you like to wear those things, but that's a very small thing that you can do to create a more welcoming environment for your clients. It really affects you in really no way. So being mindful of that. And then noises are a big one. I've worked in a lot of different places, and I've worked in clinics where, there'd be 5 therapists in the same room, and each therapist with a kid. And I mean, I couldn't even hear myself think, let alone have a good session. So, when you have a place of work, be mindful of that. Even when you go interview, like look around, see, is there space for you to be okay and practice your craft? Because geez, it's quite overwhelming for adults. And then imagine that with children. Other noises. So, things that buzz. I mean, I know I'm neurodivergent and I can hear things that other people don't, but know that there are things that don't bother you as a therapist that can bother other people. And if they say something about it, try to modify it so that it's not bothersome to them, because that will achieve regulation, hopefully. So other noises, phones going off, can be very stressful. Or if an alarm on your watch goes off, or if there's a fire drill, if you're a school therapist and you know that there's going to be a fire drill, I would say it ahead of time. Give them advance notice, as much advance notice as you possibly can for anything like that. Any surprises, we don't want surprises. We want to be prepared for them. Other noises, I'm trying to think of things. Sometimes when I was in other places, I would know that like the yard people would come and make noises. So I'd kind of forewarn, they may show up. I'm really sorry if they do, but just be aware, because I don't want people to be surprised or stressed out by those things. Temperature of your space. I'm hot-blooded. And if I am sweating, I'm not paying attention because I'm so overwhelmed with just trying to regulate my body temperature. So, and this is true for other people. So I always have an extra fan in my office. These are random little things. You don't have to do all of them, of course, but these are just things that I have that over time, as it's been introduced by somebody, I acquire something else to eliminate it from the future. So that's kind of how I learned all of this.